Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cock Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day, wherever you are around the world. Hopefully, everyone is having a fantastic Friday. Of course, international break isn't providing much news or anything else in that regard. Of course, tomorrow I think is England and Brazil, which I think the biggest thing coming out of that is, of course, the kit and people criticizing it. Which again, I think if you've got a problem with that, again, grow up with that as well. But again, hopefully, all of you guys are having a fantastic day. Of course, you guys will have been clicking on and seeing the thumbnail and the title. Again, we'll discuss that in tonight's video, but we've got a few to talk about tonight. Of course, we're going to speak about UEFA and, of course, what happened in Paris in the Champions League final. There's been reportedly been a settlement. They will discuss that in tonight's show also as well. This man, again, not many people will know who he is, but we'll talk about him joining Liverpool as well, coming from Bournemouth, and we'll discuss who he is and what he will bring for Liverpool. Of course, we'll also speak about Xabi Alonso. Obviously, same repeated news, but we're going to talk about it. Of course, the German reporters again reporting him to Bayern Munich. We'll discuss that in tonight's episode. We're going to discuss Lucho Diaz as well and the whole PSG situation, because as you can see, the video got taken down from the other day, of course, but we do have more news on the Lucho scenario as well. And of course, we're going to discuss what Fabrizio Romano has been speaking about Trent Alexander-Arnold and potential move to Real Madrid. Of course, let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well. And another thing is Robbie Fowler now has a mural outside of Anfield. Again, it looks really, really good, doesn't it? I think probably one of the best there is. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on everything that we do mention and talk about in today's episode as well. But again, let me know how all of you are. If you're new around here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and all that good stuff as well. Big up to John. John's in as well, saying hi. Do you think Tyler Morton or Fabio Carvalho have a future at the club and will both be sold? I think out of the two, I think Fabio Carvalho might go. But again, totally depends on the manager and whoever comes in. Who do they want? I particularly think that if it was to be Alonso, I think the two of them might get an opportunity in the team next year. But again, we'll have to wait and see what the new manager wants in that regard as well. Because again, we don't know. We don't know who. Who the new manager is going to be, and of course we're going to discuss that a bit later on as well. But I think that the more likeliest to be sold is probably Fabio Carvalho, in my opinion. But let's speak then about, of course, UEFA reportedly have settled a court case with the Liverpool supporters over what happened in Paris. As you can see right here, this is Anfield reporting on this. Saying a civil claim involving Liverpool fans who suffered injuries and distress at the 2022 Champions League final in Paris has been settled. UEFA issued the statement on Friday evening confirming a full and final settlement has been agreed with fans represented by Pogost Goodhead and Bingham Long, who had been made personal injury claims. If I quickly scroll down as well. In terms of settlement will remain confidential, UEFA said. An independent report published last year found UEFA bore primary responsibility for the failures which almost led to the European club football biggest occasion becoming a mass fatality. Serious consequences, problems outside the Stade de France in Paris saw thousands of Liverpool fans penned in against perimeter fences and stuck in motorway underpass ahead. The game against Real Madrid with kickoff obviously delayed by more than 30 minutes. If you guys want to go and of course find this article and read more about it, you can do it on This Is Anfield. But I think, look, again, UEFA taking responsibility, and I'm glad that those, supporters have won their case as well against UEFA, because it should never have happened. Look, I remember watching that final and listening to people's stories afterwards and so on as well. And look, it should never have happened, considering what has happened in the past as well. Nightmare, absolute nightmare. And look, UEFA and I think the French government, obviously, both of them tried to cover their tracks, rightfully were proven wrong in that circumstance as well. And again, I'm glad that those Liverpool supporters have won their case against UEFA as well. Of course, we won't know the full details of the win, but look, at the end of the day, it's good news in that sense as well, because that day could have got a lot worse. I think even when you speak to not even supporters, I think players, families. I think Joel Matip's family got stuck. In between it all as well. So again, I'm glad that again, that Liverpool fans have won this case as well, because look, UEFA just completely tried to hide from it, didn't they? And I'm glad that something has come from it as well. But we'll move on from that, of course. Now, I said to you guys earlier on, you might know or don't know who this is as well, but Fabrizio Romano adding to it, saying that Mark Burchill, I think his last name is, will follow Richard Hughes to Liverpool. It's all decided for Bournemouth chief scout to join Liverpool. It will be signed soon, but agreements already in place. Edwards, Hughes, and Burchill will be part of the new structure. So again, Liverpool adding to what is an already good structure, and it again, of what we're probably going to speak of later on as well. It's it's confidence, and it's confident the fact that Liverpool are getting everyone in the door. There's no lurking around now. It seems like once the structure is there, now Liverpool are fully intending to get everyone in. Now, of course, there's reports of that Benfica guy as well coming in as the second club looms, but again, behind the scenes now, it looks more or less, apart from a manager, the Liverpool are set for the future as well. And I know people will go, oh, well, does that mean that Bournemouth's targets will become Liverpool targets? No, absolutely not. But what is at the best of it is the fact that, again, Michael Edwards knows Richard Hughes. Richard Hughes, knows this guy. So again, it's not like if people are unfamiliar with one another, how each other work and so on as well, which is probably the best for Liverpool overall as well, which again is great news and great in that sense as well. But overall, like behind the scenes, Liverpool doing quite well, bar from a manager, which moving into that. Again, Xabi Alonso still the favourite to become the next Liverpool manager. Not if you listen to German reporters, as you can see from here now. Obviously, Florian Plintenberg again today saying that his clear information is that if Xabi Alonso leaves Bayer Leverkusen this summer, he will join Bayern Munich over. He will join Bayern Munich and not Liverpool. Which, again, there's two sides you can look at it like this. For me, the one side is remember what happened last year with Jude Bellingham. We were told, Liverpool in the race, this, that, and the other. Then it, came to fruition that Liverpool, were not in the race and so on. And with Xabi Alonso, it is a little bit like that. But it's also a funny thing where it comes for Florian Plintenberg, because him, as well as Christian Falk and all the German Bayern reporters, all of them have put their necks out there that Xabi Alonso is 100% joining Bayern Munich if he's going to leave Leverkusen in the summer. And I think if you listen to other reporters that outside Germany, again, Bayern Munich are there. They are trying to sort a deal out behind the scenes. Liverpool are there as well, but trying to be respectful of Leverkusen. Of course, Leverkusen are trying to win a Bundesliga title. Obviously, the first club to do that since Jurgen Klopp's Dortmund, which again is ridiculous. The fact that it's been that long since the Bundesliga had a different champion apart from Bayern Munich. And of course, Bayern are trying to disturb and trying to stop that no matter what. But I think it'll be ultra embarrassing for the likes of Plintenberg and Falk as well if they get this so wrong. If he doesn't join Bayern Munich, for me, it's at the minute I would say, and this is taking the bias out of it, I would put Leverkusen as first. I think there is a strong possibility he doesn't move. And he doesn't go away from Bayer Leverkusen, because if they win the Bundesliga, then they're in the Champions League. And, why, if he's not going to join Liverpool, why would he go Bayern Munich? He can build something there at Leverkusen where, let's be honest, a couple of players might get pinched from him in the summer, for sure. But I just can't see it. I can't see what makes Bayern Munich that more attractive than Liverpool. And if your thought process is, oh, well, you're going to be behind Jurgen Klopp, the legacy he's built and so on. If you're afraid of that, then you shouldn't be in the contention of being the next Liverpool manager. Now, reportedly, Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards has looked at that, and that's been the saying from them as well. I think there was a report out, a couple of days ago, saying the same thing, that if a manager isn't happy with being the one who does replace Jurgen Klopp and has that shadow over them, then they're not good enough to be Liverpool manager. And that's for Xabi Alonso. Like, again, I love Xabi Alonso and I love the idea of him becoming Liverpool manager. But if he has this thought process that, oh, how am I gonna do after being Jurgen Klopp's replacement? I don't want him at the football club. If that's his thought process, again, if it's not, and he does want to join Bayern Munich for whatever reason, then again, you just have to take her on the chin. But I do think as well, there's a massive chance he stays at Leverkusen. I don't think he moves on to Bayern, at least. I think if more anything, he'll stay at Leverkusen for a further year and then go to Madrid. And that's the fear then probably of he will go to Madrid, and that's maybe the plan for Xabi Alonso. But I think the German reporters are very much putting it all on Bayern Munich and saying, look, he is definitely going to be joining there if he leaves Leverkusen, which, again, save the tweets, save everything, because look, I actually think it's hilarious that they've put their eggs fully in the basket of Xabi Alonso joining Bayern Munich, and again, not giving Liverpool a chance in that sense as well. But John says, I think we are a better position for Xabi Alonso. We are the most stable as good squad. We will give Xavi time, where if Bayern Munich have a bad time, they would sack Xavi as well. Yeah, 100%. Look at Thomas Tuchel. Look how they treated Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann was supposedly too futuristic for Bayern Munich's board, which, again, I think when you look at Nagelsmann's statistics compared to Thomas Tuchel, it was night and day. Like, I think Nagelsmann's record, it completely writes out Xabi Alonso's in the thought process. And it's funny how, when you do look back at that time as well, it's probably around the same time as Alonso coming at Leverkusen, and you look at the difference from both periods. Obviously, Alonso coming in, obviously Leverkusen were in the relegation zone or near the relegation zone, came in, did phenomenal in the Europa League, got to the semis in that, and of course climbed up the table. I think they finished the season, fifth, was it? Which again is ridiculous from where they was. But Bayern Munich have declined, and Bayern Munich have been on the decline for the last 2-3 seasons. I think everyone spoke at the start of the season in terms of the Champions League, Bayern Munich's name was definitely up there. I think I had them third favourite for it at the start of the season, apart, City and Real Madrid, probably ahead of them. And now when you look at it, they struggled against Lazio. That, the game against Arsenal, I think Bayern Munich are still favourites for that. But Arsenal could destroy them. It wouldn't be surprising if Arsenal swept Bayern Munich away, because Bayern Munich are poor. They are really, really poor. And look, they're trying to dispute everything, aren't they? With the whole Xavi Alonso thing. And trying, of course, I think even, was it Plentenberg started bringing up Frimpong rumours about him joining Bayern Munich, or he's had conversations with Bayern Munich as well, which, again, I think it's funny how they try and derail certain players and try and disrupt that type of group as well. I think it's really funny in that itself as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. If anyone's in, of course, let us know your guys' thoughts, because I think with Alonso as well, if he wants to be this ambitious manager, sure, he could do it at Bayern Munich, but to do it in the Premier League, you still got Pep Guardiola there, Mikel Arteta. Arteta and Alonso could be the new Klopp and Guardiola. They could be, in terms of, the way they fight with each other, in terms of the competitiveness between the two teams. But again, we don't know that. But for me, I would say Leverkusen are still favourites to keep him, I would say, potentially. I think it's Liverpool, then it's Bayern. Personally, I see it like that. I think Liverpool, out of the two, I think Liverpool are ahead, and it's only really the German reporters reporting on it. But again, let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But let's talk about Lucho then. Of course, people having a go at me. Thank you, Ricky and Tom, if you're in. But of course, Lucho, rumours about PSG a couple of days ago. Obviously, that we did release a video from a clip from, I think, can't remember what show it was from, but we were speaking about Lucho. And of course, Fabrizio Romano having his say on Lucho as well, saying Liverpool have not been approached by PSG for Luis Diaz so far. No negotiations or talks taking place. Liverpool not showing any desire or plan to sell Diaz, considered key player. PSG have different priorities and currently not working on the Luis Diaz deals. So good news in that sense as well, because I think that when you do look at PSG, of course, they'll want to replace him or replace Kylian Mbappe with, a top player. Obviously, gratefully, it's not Luis Diaz on that. I think Lucho is still up there. Like I said on the video, if he could finish, he'd be a £200 million player. Hopefully he can change that about his game, because the player, again, in terms of pressing, in terms of, again, you don't see many people beat Kyle Walker on a 1v1. He absolutely battered him, didn't he, 2-3 weeks ago against City. So again, I'm happy that Lucho isn't an option for PSG yet. Of course, there's always the odd speculation there here and there that, again, his agency could potentially be in talks with him behind the scenes, but still, like, I think Lucho for Liverpool, like, I think even as Fabrizio said, but Liverpool don't consider selling him and won't consider selling him this summer. Again, it could be the fact that Liverpool could go on to outprice him as well with that. I think, again, rightfully, you look at the market, 100 million, I think, is probably the right price for him. Now, are PSG going to buy Lucho for 100 mil? Probably not. When, you could buy somebody else or buy 2 or 3 players for that same amount that could go in that PSG team as well. Because I think PSG as well are also giving up on this Galactico era as well. I think they're more or less going to be staying low key with signings. I think that when you look at it, I think if you look at the academy that they've brought through, or players that they've brought through as well, I think it's hilarious the fact that PSG haven't followed the same method as like a Bayern Munich, for example. Like, they've bought the best in the league. Like, you look at, currentently through the French league, obviously midfield, you've got Kefren Turam at Nice, for example, as well. Monaco at the minute, doing pretty. I think Monaco third as well at the minute, I think. So there's definitely great talent in the French league. I don't know why PSG don't go with that model. I think they will do in the future, but again, I'm not too sure with that as well. But let us know your guys' thoughts on the Lucho stuff as well. But Chris saying Trent is staying. That's my breaking news as well. Well, we're going to get on to Trent and discuss him anyway. But let's get on to what Fabrizio Romano has been saying about Trent Alexander-Arnold then. Obviously, Trent out of contract in 2025. And as you can see right here, anyway, Fabrizio Romano saying Real Madrid are monitoring Trent Alexander-Arnold's contract situation at Liverpool. Current deal expires in June 2025 with no talks underway as of now. Obviously, on the contract situation, it says Liverpool have not indicated any desire to sell at this stage. There's no indication of players' views so far as well. And I believe this was taken from Fabrizio Romano's YouTube video as well, saying there are also other clubs monitoring Trent Alexander-Arnold's situation at Liverpool as well. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. There was a report as well from, I think, a Spanish journal. I think he's linked with Real Madrid as well, suggesting that Real Madrid would try and get Trent this summer for quote cheap, which again, what is cheap in Madrid's view? Because of course they're going to get Kylian Mbappe this summer. We know this. Of course, they're trying as well to get Alphonso Davies from Bayern Munich and to, well, by the looks of it, get Trent. Now, I've spoken to people as well about the Trent situation. Of course, it's huge for Michael Edwards and for Richard Hughes to sort Trent's contract out straight away, because in the summer of 2025, we've got Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, and Trent leaving on a free. That can't happen. It can't happen at all. I would say. I think, look, Trent should stay. I think if it will massively depend on what he wants to do. Of course, Real Madrid has his best friend in it, of course, in terms of Jude Bellingham. And when you do look at that side again, and plus it being Real Madrid, of course, it's intriguing. But if anything's to go by, Trent, has always said that he doesn't want to move anywhere from Liverpool. Liverpool, he wants to be at Liverpool forever. And I think that now it's more crucial than ever of his words, because he's entering a weird time at the minute in terms of the contract as well, because again, I think he's on 200 or 180,000 pound per week. This is going to be a big contract for Trent, because it's going to be like a captain's contract. He is going to be, by the looks of things, the next Liverpool captain. Of course, currently vice captain. Virgil van Dijk is the captain, but I think we all think that Trent will 100% be the next Liverpool captain. And when you do think of that, it's also an interesting point of, again, how much is he going to be on? Liverpool don't want to probably take it up a whole lot amount, because again, Trent's probably got another contract extension in him, I would say, at the football club. But then how much are you going to pay for your right back, or you potentially send him in the future? I think a new contract, it's going to be more around 230 probably a week, and all those little details as well. But for Real Madrid, of course, they want the best, and Trent is among the best. I think people are very short-sighted in today's football when, again, people speak about Conor Bradley and the amazing job Conor Bradley has done for Liverpool so far since Trent's been out with the knee injury. But I think people to forget that Trent is a massive reason why Liverpool are in a title fight this season. And I think Trent overall, when Liverpool are up against it, Trent is one of the best players for Liverpool. And look, not saying Conor Bradley hasn't been amazing, because he has been amazing at right back, but Trent is unbelievable. And people go, oh, defensively he's not. Shut up. Like, genuinely shut up. I think that people need to grow up when they go on about, oh, he's not good defensively and this, that, and the other. Like, just go and look at the stats. Again, people are just so blinded, like, oh, he can't defend. Like, just shut up, like, genuinely. But again, I think that Trent will stay. I'm more confident that Trent would stay. But again, once the weeks and months start rolling down, you're like, gonna get it sorted now. But that will be the big one: is get Trent sorted. I think more so than Virgil and Mo, because I think Virgil will stay. Virgil will want to retire at Liverpool. You would think. Anyway, with Mo, of course, it is a bit different what he wants in the summer. Of course, I think those talks will already be ongoing between Mo and of course Michael Edwards and co, because is Mo going to go in the summer? We don't know how much the Liverpool want. As well, it's also an interesting situation as well. But for me, I think Trent will sign a new contract in November. That would be my guess. Again, I'm not saying I know anything, but I would say Trent will. If Alonso comes in, I think Trent will sign a new deal instantly, because I think Trent gets moved into midfield if Alonso does come in as well. So again, we will have to wait and see. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway, because Romano did also say there's other clubs looking at him. I can't see him going anywhere else in England personally. And then when you look abroad, you look at Barcelona, Real Madrid. Barcelona would love Trent on a free, as they freaking love everyone on a free transfer nowadays. But yeah, I can't see him going anywhere personally. Can't see him leaving Liverpool. But yeah, again, like I said, while the months are counting down, the more and more news is going to get spoken about it, and hopefully, it's just quickly sewn up as well. And like Trent said back in 2018, again, Real Madrid can buy me on FIFA, so hopefully, that's the end of it realistically as well. But I'm adamant Alonso joins us, says Chris as well. Yeah, again, I think he joins Liverpool for sure. If Alonso doesn't join, then we get the only next best choice, which is Amorim. I prefer Amorim before Alonso went on to win the Bundes. The clear alternative to Alonso. For me, Alonso is the best that you could get for Liverpool. I do believe that as well. But Alonso can't. Alonso can't go to Bayern. I wouldn't that destroy him in the eyes of the Leverkusen fans. Yeah, I think that's another interesting point. And that's what I mean. I don't think he's going to go to Bayern. And again, Bayern Munich always want the best in the league. They do. That's the way they've operated since forever, or at least the 2010s. Then that's what they've known. But I don't know. I can't see him going there. But there's also been reports of De Zerbi being liked at Bayern Munich. They'll be in the same boat. I think the Stuttgart manager as well has been quoted to go in there as well if Alonso doesn't join. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we will have some inkling of what's going to happen, because Liverpool can't just hang around and wait neither. We need, from day one, we need a new manager and we need that sorted. Of course, enjoy the time now we have left with Jurgen and obviously what's going to happen hopefully in the next couple of weeks and months. But Liverpool have to be prepared for next season. We can't be hanging around for a hope for Xabi Alonso. But Trent v Bradley, I would hope Bradley would accept a backup role, rotation. Yeah, I think that he's. The thing is, Liverpool could easily do that. They could put Bradley right back and Trent in the midfield. They could do it. We have done it this season. Look at Joe Gomez. I think one game in particular. Look at. Was it Palace away where Trent just moved into the six and then allowed Joe Gomez to go on the right. which could be the same. Plintenberg and Christian Folk are Bayern PR. They've just been repeating the same thing for the last couple of months. Yes, 100%. Zane, and again, they have been repeating the exact same. Which, again, you do look at it. I can't see him going. Really, really can't. It's not quite the Rush Aldridge dynamic. No, 100%. But no, like. Hopefully, there will be a Paul Joyce random tweet at 10:30 one day, and I'll go Alonso to Liverpool. Liverpool agree with Alonso that this is going to happen or wherever. That's what we'd hope for. But I think as soon as the Bundesliga title is wrapped up as well, I think that's when you'll know what's happening with Alonso. And Liverpool have to be on it though. We can't be hanging around and going, oh, we're going to wait for you to win the Bundesliga title and so on. But we're also going to do this and we're going to do that. Like, no, get on with it as well anyway. But I think overall, I think Alonso will still come to Liverpool personally. As well, the same as Trent, though. I think Trent stays at Liverpool. I can't see him leaving. Personally, I can't see him going to Real Madrid. But we could be shocked. It's football at the end of the day. Things happen. Like, do we think Jurgen Klopp was going to be leaving at the end of the season? No. I genuinely thought Jurgen would be staying for a very long time still. But again, sadly, he will be going. And that it hasn't kicked in yet, has it? But Red Machine's in as well, saying... bloody hell, Real Madrid can jog on as well. Hamad's saying, when do you think it gets announced? What, Trent or Alonso? Again, let me know. Again, I don't know which one you mean. But yeah, we can't hang about. We have to get up to speed and hit the ground running, especially with the City's relegation. Yeah, 100%. Again, is that going to happen, Scouse? Yeah, I can't think about that either. But Alonso, the next manager, I think if it is going to be Alonso for Liverpool, I think as soon as they win the title, we'll start hearing things. But we won't hear anything about. We probably won't get confirmation until what? June time, probably end of May, June time. But you'd like to think that official confirmation around them, but you'd like to think in the next couple of weeks we'll have an inkling, on who the manager will be, and we'll have some thought of process that will, of course, tell us in that sense as well. But I think that as soon as that Bundesliga title does get sorted, we'll know his future. Whether that's Munich or Leverkusen or Liverpool, which I think Liverpool are the ones who are in front and who are the favourites to get Xabi Alonso. Anyway, but in terms of Trent though, and going back on it, I think his contract is going to be huge for Liverpool. The next one, it will be the big one, and I think again you would probably be looking 220, 230 around Trent, probably around Virgil van Dijk numbers that he's on right now, which would probably make him the second highest paid player behind Mo Salah. So I think it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, but I think the first one for Richard Hughes to sort out is Trent, because you look at Virgil. I think Virgil's happy at Liverpool. Mo as well. I think we'll know the future of him in the next couple of weeks, because of course Liverpool might have to think about selling him next season to Saudi if they come back in for him. And also as well, I think out of the more of them, Trent you need to sort out, because Madrid will try and get their clause into Trent one day with Jude as well, and there and obviously explaining the benefits of being at Galactico and of course being at Real Madrid. But hopefully Liverpool will sort that out as well anyway. And of course, if you haven't seen, and I haven't showed it as well, if anyone hasn't seen the new Robbie Fowler mural as well, again, I think it's one of the best that's there at the minute. I think There's also going to be a John Barnes one, I think, being made, or is going to be made up as well, as far as I saw. But again, I think that, again, really, really good. That Scouse Jesus actually got one as well. Anyway, but hopefully, or Scouse God today, I should say. But again, hopefully we'll get a lot more as well coming up as well in the near future as well. But I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Big thank you to all of you guys for tuning in to the show as well. Massively appreciate it. As always, of course, we've spoken a bit about everything tonight. Obviously, we spoke about Lucho, spoke about Trent, obviously spoke about Liverpool fans winning against UEFA as well, from the case in Paris as well. Spoke about Alonso and so on as well. But Red Machine saying Madrid look to have basically given Lunin a full-time place at Madrid. Yeah. Well, to be fair, they are pretty much no more brick wall Courtois. He will be the goalkeeper for next year, but the injury for Courtois is pretty bad, though, isn't it? I think he's definitely out for the Euros now, chat. I think, which is a shame for Belgium, but still, it's also a. Every time we play Madrid in the Champions League, it's always Courtois that has this absolute worldie of a game, isn't it, chat? So, again, classic the year that we don't play them. But again, that tie, Man City, Real Madrid in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, that's one hell of a tie. The winner of that goes on to win the Champions League. I'm going to say that now. And I'll be looking forward to watching that game in 2 weeks' time, I think it is. So, again, and of course, we play Atalanta as well, which, again, looking forward to that as well. But we will probably be live now Monday, unless there is any news that does come out. It might be, actually, to be fair, it might be Sunday we might be live, but of course tomorrow is England Brazil. If any of you want to watch that, absolute crap international football. Of course, Wales won last night, which is great. Of course, I think Wales play Poland on Tuesday to see whether or not they get into the Euros. That'd be kind of good if they can do that. But again, hopefully. We'll get back to normal football and get back to Liverpool, continuing on under Jurgen Klopp in the Premier League anyway. But if you're new around here, of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Very much appreciated. Also hit the share button as well, guys. And if you're watching on the repeat as well, get your comments in the comment section and I'll get back to each and every single one of you in the comments as well anyway. But I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.